about adoption. We'll get to that in a moment. But the fact of the matter is, the reason that Don Jr. went into that room and Jared Kushner went into that room and Paul Manafort went into that room was not to talk about adoption. It's because they had been promised, they'd been promised by Rob Goldstone that there would be information as part of the Russian government's effort to tip the election to President Trump.
Yeah, and of course, nothing in that meeting that would have taken place, even if it was about the topic of an opposition research paper from a Russian lawyer, is illegal or a violation of the law. And by the way, I am not the only lawyer, and you know this, Chris. Most lawyers, many, I'd say a vast majority of the lawyers that you've interviewed and others have interviewed on your network and other networks have acknowledged that the meeting itself and those proposed discussions would not have been a violation of the law.
But the point is, it does show intent, willingness, perhaps not actual collusion, because apparently, and in fact, none of us know what really went on in the meeting, but assuming that, at least on that point, everybody is telling the truth, doesn't it show intent and willingness on the part of Don Jr. and Jared and Paul Manafort to collude with the Russians? And let me just point out, Natalia Veselnitskaya was not just some Russian street. She had close ties to people in the Kremlin.
Well, number one, if the discussion was going to be about, if it was going to be about Russian opposition research that a Russian lawyer had, the fact is, those goes on. You know that goes on in campaigns all the time. Opposition research is a big part of campaigning.
It doesn't go on with the Russians all the time, Jay.
Well, no, but look, here's what happened. First of all, nothing happened. There ended up being no exchange of information. But in and of itself, that meeting, the relevancy of the differential that you're just put forward, the relevancy of whether it was a Russian lawyer or other individuals that Donald Trump Jr. knew, the fact is what took place during that meeting, even on the basis of these emails as Donald Trump Jr. laid them out, were not violations of a statute.